Hey guys, how y'all doing? Today is Tuesday, first day after Labor Day. Labor Day's yesterday. Uh, I haven't been making as many videos as I used to about politics. Um, like I used to kind of be on the cutting edge. Like every morning, I would listen to um, Fault Line, Jamal, and Tom Stranahan, and other people I would listen to. I was on the cutting edge. Like every weekend, I listen to the weekends. Um, Everybody know Michael Brooks was a host on there, along with the lady from Young Turks. Um, Watching On Contact with Chris Hedges on RT on Sundays. And I started taking hydrogen peroxide again recently, and I still take it. I didn't stop, but um, it's weird because a couple weeks ago, I kind of stopped watching politics. I mean, like I used to listen to David Pakman in the evening, like his whole show, and I still watch pieces of what he talks about. But when I'm working and stuff, I don't really watch that stuff anymore. I don't know what hydrogen peroxide really does to the brain. I can tell when I take it, my mind is a lot clearer. I call it like the gray zone or whatever, because my mind's a lot clearer and I'm really, really, really sharp. Really sharp. Like I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do next after this. I'm thinking. I'm not like just procrastinating. I'm nothing bad about it. When I stop taking hydrogen peroxide for a while and I take it, I get headaches. But they say it liberates free oxygen. After that, I feel good. Um, I guess I kind of feel like the future has been canceled. In fact, that's what I'm going to label this video as. Um, I live in a society of people who don't give a shit. I'm watching wildfires in Siberia, wildfires in California growing. I'm watching a pandemic get worse and worse and worse. And I'm watching a president actually change his story after the fact. California having temperatures of over 130 degrees, which is pretty bad. Which is to me a harbinger of what's to come as far as climate change. And I'm dealing with people at my workplace who walk around calling people faggots and stuff like that. Really awesome time for me in my life. But I'm thankful because I'm looking at all the folks out here who are homeless, people that can't pay the bills, and I'm humbled. I'm in a really good spot right now. I just realized that the future's being canceled. And I realized that this is about so much more than racism, that Trump is simply like the undead. Someone referred to him like that. That like they call it zombie facts, which is like facts that should die but don't. And of course, he's referring to things that have no merit, but are said over and over and over and over and over, even though they're not true. Whereas, like a person, if I hit a person with a car, I'll probably kill him. If I shoot a person, I'll probably kill him. Well, zombies, it ain't that easy. They don't just die. They don't. There's something that live on, even when they should die. And I just realized that this is boomers who want to keep their standard of living going. That's what Trump is playing to. How else, if you don't believe that, how else you have a president that's literally taking money out of racial diversity programs, racial diversity training? I mean, if Trump gets 10% of the black vote, I will really be shocked. I know a lot of black folks don't vote. I may not vote. I didn't vote in 16. A lot of black people are in, prison, felony records. They can't vote. I know that. I get it. But to me, Trump doing that was like the last hinge of the door. Like the last part of locking the door on the black vote and of black people having any influence election or his future policy. And this isn't just black people, this is Hispanics and stuff too. The racial programs aren't just about black people. There's also the component of sexual harassment and all that. And once again, I say that if this had been done 30 years ago, it'd really been bad, but now we've had affirmative action. Like, hell, we have Clarence Thomas. All these black federal judges we have and stuff. Black people have gotten niches in this country, and Trump couldn't change that if he wanted to just throw every black person out of every position of authority and leadership. That won't work. So this is just more of the boomer world, the world of the 80s, the world of the 70s, the world of homophobia, the world of, transphobia, the world of the woman putting the woman barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. This is more of that. This is the world of doing speeches talking about dishwashers and water saving shower heads and water saving toilets. Like I said, that would have worked even when I was a boy, because I remember toilets back then. Like, yeah, you would have to flush them. So I remember that. Someone did number 2. I remember different things, but the technology has advanced like everything else. Cell phones back then weren't that good. I remember my mom had a big Motorola brick phone, it's like, looking back at it, the plug, the charger was like military shit. I mean, but the world changes. It has to. The world evolves. And I shouldn't talk about this kind of stuff. I shouldn't. It's a waste of time. So, it's so much more than just the racism part of it. It's just the world of the boomers, the world of waste, the world of being able to tell people to go back to when they would come from, and racial slurs. And this is just Trump trying to. But the thing about it, Now, this is where I guess being a fascist country, I've thought about this before. This is a part of it. We have corporations that are getting just as much or more powerful than the U.S. government. I'm talking multinationals like Walmart, Apple, people like that are just Google. They're just that fucking big, just that powerful that they're a big sector of the economy. If Apple says we're going to keep doing racial diversity training, and large police departments all over the country say we're going to keep doing it, I don't think that it means as much as you think. I mean, it bothers me as a socialist. I believe that the federal government is supposed to push the envelope as far as safe workplaces, as well as comfortable workplaces, as well as just putting forward policies and procedures that work and that edify people to be their best. When you take out racial training, you're kind of sending a message there this way, and that's what Trump wants people to vote for. People that vote for him are voting for that kind of world, a world of homophobia, a world of racism. That's, I mean, we know this isn't me saying that. There's nothing new. There's nothing that should shock you about him doing. They didn't shock me by him doing it, but it's sending a message. Sending a message, and sometimes I wish I could talk to his coons and be like, what does this tell you? What does this say about how Trump thinks about you? And I'm getting to the point that doesn't even matter. Even if I call Kanye West right now and he'd answer the phone, I'm not even sure I would, or that I would even care. Kanye West, another coon, he's a nut. And he's an example of how desperate white people are to find these figures. What did Trump say? And there goes my African American. That's it. That's what Kanye West is. I'm not going to talk about them no more. I don't talk about them now. I just, I realize that I can sit here and I can talk and dwell on Trump and politics or I can live my life. My life is so much more than just politics, you know. I've got plants and stuff around here. I do DIY projects. I'm a gun owner. Um, I've talked about preparing for the fall. Well, this is fall, Labor Day kind of. This is fall. It's cooled down. Yesterday it was like in the lower 80s. Today it was in the 70s. Rained all day today. Um, you know, I can do more research and studying on that. I've been watching the WHO press conference. It's kind of sad. It's kind of like, I guess when I left my grandfather and lived with Veronica, or she lived with me, and I'm sure my grandfather was like, "What happened?" Like, you know, I'm we didn't talk like that, but I'm sure he was like, "Dude, like, why did you leave me? Why did you, you know?" And I never told him, and even after I came back home, I remember Veronica, you know, come back home, and to her credit, she was like, she didn't want me to do anything. He put me out, which I wasn't gonna do, but she knew that, hey, she had nothing to offer me. She pretty much had squeezed me dry of what I had, so you know, I'm no more good. To be fair, she just throw me out in the street. She actually, um, you know, that's to me how I feel about that. That the WHO need the U.S. government, need the backing, the financial backing of the U.S. government, the funding, and Trump pulled out of there, and it's like they are. It's sad to say they're a shell of what they formerly were, and I'm sure that's kind of how my grandfather felt when I left. You know that, whoa, what did I do? You know, and this is what happens with a fascist. It's just similar to why fascists never put in experts. They don't. They don't put. Hitler didn't do that. Hitler put in a bunch of lackeys, and to the point to where you had the Abwehr and the SS were fighting amongst each other, and the Luftwaffe was fighting because these aren't experts. These aren't people who are doing the best stuff out of a sense of good. These are people who are really dirty and grimy and don't operate off of facts and off of knowledge, but operate off of they're gangsters. They're criminals with a uniform. That's it. And that's a part of why Trump just threatened the International Criminal Court and pulled. I mean, this is like stuff that a supervillain would do if he got in the White House. And I always go back to the fact that everybody that worked for Trump has something bad to say about him. Everybody. Like, and Mattis and those guys are probably the closest to the exception to what I just said there, because Mattis actually made his bones on the battlefield. Love him or hate him, he made his bones on the battlefield. You can't take that away from him. You can't. You know, Mattis is actually out there, whereas DeJoy and the rest of these clowns, Stone, these people, these are clowns, these are thugs, these are criminals. These aren't people that work their way up anywhere. They're crooks and criminals, and they just, you know, a preacher no a pimp, as they say. I don't know what you're up to, you know, because I do the same stuff. But I'm more than that, you know. I watch the WHO, you know, I read some things. I've been getting back into house music more than I was before, and some other kind of lo-fi house stuff. What else? I mean, I guess I got my guns and stuff. I'm trying to tone down on the politics because it's so depressing. And what makes it so depressing is I'm like Chris Hedges. Like, if we are just saying vote for Joe Biden and not acknowledge why so much of the country wanted Trump elected and still want him elected, we're missing the forest for the trees. You're not getting to the meat of why Trump was elected president, and that's a problem. It's a problem because, as I said before, Trump can leave office and all that, What happened to the 200 federal judges he has in there? There'll be more before he leaves. You know what I'm saying? I think the left, so much of the left wants this done and dusted. And for me, it's like, this is a struggle. This is a battle. And you've got to take it seriously. And I just realized that people I live around and work around don't think like this. I don't want to have a mental breakdown. You know, I already work with people where no one wears masks. In the shops, anywhere I go, no one wears masks. You know, I don't want to go crazy dealing with ignorant, stupid people. And one way to do that is to focus on politics that's getting steadily worse and worse, and living around people who don't care about the facts at all. Don't care about the facts about pandemic. Don't care about the facts of all the stuff Trump has done. I mean, I really feel like they could catch Trump raping a small child in the White House, and at least half of the Republican Party would come up with some way to defend it. I believe that. I said that months ago. And seeing this thing with the comments Trump has made on the veterans proves that. Imagine if Obama was accused of something like that. You think Republicans would be up here talking about, oh, well, we don't know. You think they would do that? No. No, they wouldn't have. The fact that they're willing to give him the benefit of the doubt shows you a lot. So, as I said, I don't lose my mind out here. I live alone. I don't want to fucking get drained. I have things I need to do. I have a life I got to live. I have things I got to look after. And I have a pretty hands-on, rough job. I'm pretty much, I kind of tweaked my inside of my elbow to drive a stick shift. And I've been taking this hemp salve. It seems to have worked. But I had 3 days off. Trying to do that. You know, I'm driving another truck that's automatic. I'm trying to protect myself. I don't want to be like, I don't want to hate the world. I don't want to hate everybody that I work around. Even though I live and work around idiots and morons who don't value my life. I don't want to be some dried up, scaly old man angry at the world. And it's so easy to do that when you're surrounded by people I'm surrounded by right now. It's so frustrating when I go to work and driving down to South Carolina and people are just stupid. Going to these work sites and it's just really frustrating. So I'm not going to do as many videos on politics. I'm not going to do as many debates on that. That's all there is to it.